Uh, I am from Osceola. Scott's correct about that. We'll get to that later, though. But I will tell you a little bit more about myself. I play a sport called disc golf. Yeah, that's the mild response is the correct one. For those of you who haven't heard of it, it just means I like to get high in the woods. I have a fantasy football team, because sometimes I like to get high at home too. I've been searching for my spirit animal, and I still haven't found it, but I know when I do, it'll be served on a pretzel bun. Oh man, we're getting more and more like Chicago every day. That joke only works where people still eat bread. It's fucked up. I went to Chicago and told them, and I was like, I'm still in the Midwest. No, I was in Portland East. A joke works well with the cheese crowd up in Wisconsin. I've been seeing a therapist a bit lately about these emotional walls that I've been building up. And I always feel weird about that, you know, blocking people out. And my therapist assures me, no, a lot of people do that. That's not weird. That makes me feel better. She said, what is weird, though, is every time we talk about it, you want me to build the country of Mexico. Bam, wall joke done. I try not to do too much political stuff, but as a stand-up, you got to be a little topical. I worked on a few more. You guys want to hear one of them? Clearasil is just a poor man's Proactive. I thought this was a bit of a younger crowd. Hey, I didn't write a joke about this, just everybody was like, okay, boomer, and hey, millennials up here tonight, and I got to wondering, like, what the fuck happened to all the other generations? Because, like, everybody over 50 assumes everybody under 50 is a millennial. And everybody, like, over the age of, like, 12 assumes everybody over the age of 15 is, like, a boomer. Like, I looked up on the internet today, and, like, you guys remember Gen X? Like, we had, like, years and years of movies about Gen X, right? Yeah. You actually had to be born between January 1979 and January 3rd, 1979 in order to qualify as a Gen Xer. Other than that, you're a fucking millennial or you're a boomer. Like Scott said, I'm from Osceola. So when I talk about television tonight, I mean like the antenna on top of the roof. I don't mean like Netflix and cable and stuff. We get all the judge shows is what I'm saying, guys. But like I've also been recently blessed with this small child. I'm horrible with ages. Whatever the right age to like accidentally knee a child in the face, like a that age kid in my life. So we watch a lot of children's programming together, and you've seen all these like cool games that kids have and stuff, right? Real quick, Q, what happens if I go over here? I'm off? Damn, all right. I was gonna free range mic for a while, but I'll come back here. No, but watching all the, like, they've got all these cool games for kids, and so I did some research, and a lot of them are fan submitted. Like Monopoly, that was actually a lady during the Depression that came up with that, and then some big company ate it up. Hungry Hungry Hippos was just made by a small child who was tired of watching his fat aunts fight over Thanksgiving dinner. But they've got this totally insane one. Have you guys heard of this peeing puppy? No? Oh, you're in for a treat. It's this small plastic dog that your toddler-age child pets as few or as many times as it likes. And then it passes it to another toddler-age child. And eventually some small child is petted the magic number of times, and its little plastic pecker pisses all over their face. Like, that's messed up, right? That ain't cool. Turns out that is also a fan-submitted game. That fan was R. Kelly. Yeah. That's like the one joke I ever wrote. Everything else is just kind of riffing, guys. I accidentally backed into the dating world a while ago. You guys familiar with this Pieces of Fish app? I was like, oh fuck, Mayor Pete, you did it. We got this burgeoning metropolis. I get to find out about sushi? No, that is not what that app is. It went very poorly. But I was already in, so I figured I'd make a Tinder profile. And guys, I did something these women ain't seen in years. I fucking lied to them. I said things like, looking for a friend first. And it worked. It worked, guys. Not only did I get matches, I actually got a message. I'm not first message material, so I'm pumped as I swipe that app open. And I read that thing about friends. Good, because you're about unfuckable. And I mean, my ego was a little crushed, sure. But it's cool. I know where all the horny dudes can go to get laid. So I found my way over to Grindr. I learned 2 things in my time on Grindr. Gay dudes like me a lot less than straight women. And they are way fucking meaner about it. It was all, show me your dick. And I was like, so I showed her my dick. And then it was all, never mind. Hugging her off out here, right? But I actually did have a little luck dating. I've met several women in the last couple months who were like, I've met you and now I'm gonna go on birth control. And like, awesome, free unlimited fucking, right? And then I realized what was really going on. These are all just women who really don't want to have a child with me. All right, and white guy complaining about not getting any portion of the evening. Like many of your comics tonight, I've been getting older. Fucking weird. As I've gotten older, people say things like, Brian, you should wear dark pants. It makes you look thinner. I'm not sure if that's true, but I have learned it hides the pee dribble better. You young guys, take care of that prostate. Massage it regularly. No, but like speaking of things that make you like look skinny or fat, I got in a debate with a friend recently, and he said stripes make you look fat, and I was like, no, polka dots make you look fat, and we couldn't come to an agreement, but we did decide that corduroy makes you sound the fattest. And like, I think corduroy should make a comeback. Like, fashion's cyclical, let's have it back. I mean, you hear a nice zzz, 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 approach you from across the bar, it's probably gonna be a pleasant evening. If you've got your back turned and you're it's fucking time to leave. You don't need to be there anymore. Let's see, I did all that stuff. Oh man, like I feel like you guys are on my side. Let's ruin that. So again, white guy from Osceola. The stereotypes might be true, so let me tell you some thoughts I had recently. I had to actually look it up. So it's the LGBTQ. I'm horrible at it, but I nailed it, right? Awesome. And like the L's easy. Like I watch that kind of porn. G made sense. I've been calling my friends that since like the 3rd grade. B, understood that. T, I'm getting more and more woke, guys. I knew what the T was about. I had some questions about the Q, but they were quickly answered. And then a friend told me that they were going to add another letter. They were going to add a P to the mix. And I was like, whoa, what's that mean? And they were like, that P is going to stand for pedophile. And like Randy Jackson on American Idol, I was like, that's enough for me, dog. But then I checked the internet out, and that's not what the P's about. The P's gonna be for plus, just so they can stop with all that alphabet soup that they got going. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. That's good branding, you know, in place. Who wouldn't want to go to a plus pride parade? Like, that sounds lit as fuck, like, you know, and it's easy, it's good marketing. But then I thought, guys, what happens with plus if like fat people start to think it's okay to look like that? Yeah, that's right. We're still allowed to make fun of one group, and it's the fatties, guys. I've been Brian Collins. You've been great.